last two division champs in this NFC East. It was the Cowboys 2 years ago with a 12-4 record, and then the Redskins coming on strong last year to take it home. And they both, of course, went to the playoffs, unable to get to the Super Bowl. But we've got the last two division winners here today, and we've got quite a matchup. This rivalry goes back a long time, and this is maybe a new budding rivalry, John, with Dez Bryant against the high-priced cornerback Josh Norman.
Well, it's going to be fun. And Jason Garrett told us a couple days ago, how are we going to find out if Josh Norman's going to travel? We're going to start in a right formation. We're going to put Dez out to our weak side, and we're going to see if Josh Norman's on him. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, there the head coach is Jason Garrett, Jay Gruden. Of course, Norman did not cover Antonio Brown a lot last week. That drew some ire here in the nation's capital. We'll see if it happens today. Redskins won the toss. They defer. Hopkins gets into it. And here we go. And it's taken by Smith. And Rod Smith taken down right around the 20-yard line. And so we will see Dak Prescott, the rookie from Mississippi State, who played very well last week. Of course, wasn't expecting to play, but Tony Romo hurt in the preseason. And so now it's audition number 2.
I got to tell you, he impressed me. Watching preseason, watching the first game, he's got a lot to like about him. Great pocket presence, tremendous accuracy. So
that matchup will start right away. Top of your screen, it's Dez Bryant against Josh Norman. 1st and 10 for the Cowboys in this NFC East tilt, one of the greatest rivalries in the game. Play pass, and Prescott has a lot of time. He's got Beasley wide open, who makes a move out across the 30, and that should be good enough for a Dallas first down.
You got to love that play call by Scott Linehan, throwing your rookie quarterback into a rhythm. They fake the play action. You see the matchup between Norman and Dez Bryant, but they fake the play action and get Dak Prescott on the perimeter where he's very comfortable. And that's a guy, Kevin, that he really likes, Cole Beasley. Got a great chemistry with Beasley already.
Yes, he went after him a lot last week. This is Kedrick Golston, the nose tackle for Washington in his 11th year. Washington got gouged to the running game last week, and they were a little thin on the defensive line anyway, so they went out inside Colin Jenkins, who came to their team the last week of preseason. Let's see if we can see what happened.
Here's Golston right here, and this would be a big loss because he is their run stopper. Oh, and you see him just hyperextend that right knee.
Yeah, man, that did not look good. So they tend to Golston after the first play of the game, and we'll take a break and be back in a moment. A flyover after the national anthem here in Landover, Maryland. So Kedrick Golston is out after getting injured on that first play on that defensive line. Ziggy Hood moves inside. Ricky Jean-Francois is in the game now, and the Cowboys going to run it. And they struggled here last week. This is the rookie Ezekiel Elliott, and he's only going to pick up a couple. So for these Dallas Cowboys, you look at their storylines. Dak take 2, his second NFL start is today. Missing Tony Romo again. They're 1-12 without him since 2015 and finish. John, they've been in so many of these games dating back to last year, even leading in the fourth quarter, but they can't seem to finish. Can they do it today? Prescott on second down, throws for Bryant, incomplete. It was Norman making the play all over number 88.
Well, and that's why, to me, Kevin, you went out and paid this guy all this money, Josh Norman. You got to let him cover the number 1. He knows the tricks of the trade. He's physical. A great matchup against Dez Bryant, who thrives on physical play. That's the matchup. That's on the left side where Norman lives. The interesting thing is going to be when Dez goes over to the other side, is he on him?
Dallas was 10 of 17 on third downs last week. This is a 3rd and 8. Now Bryant moves, but Norman stays on the other side of the field. 3-man rush. Time. Prescott over the middle. There's Bryant, who's got it across midfield. And it's a first down for Dallas. And a good throw and a pass catch for 18.
And a nice job. What they're doing by motioning Dez Bryant is seeing, are they in man or zone? This is clearly zone, and you see the zone open up for Dez Bryant. You've got to be aware of Dez Bryant, where he is in man and in zone. That time Preston Smith not usually in dropping in coverage. completely loses Dez Bryant. You just can't do it.
So the Cowboys good on third down to start the season offensively, and defensively, John, Washington was awful on third down against Pittsburgh last week. That's a trend to watch on a 1st and 10. Play clock at 1. Get it off. Elliott stumbles twice, and he's going to pick up 2. So Ezekiel Elliott is a guy that Dallas spent the 4th overall pick on last week. And how'd you think he ran last week?
I thought he ran like a rookie. You can see why they drafted him so high. He is very, very explosive, quick, sudden, physical, all of those things, but he didn't run with patience, and that's what he'll have to do. He's also going to have to learn to run when he's not in shotgun formations, which he did so much at Ohio State.
2nd and 8. Give it to him again. Slips again. So Elliott's already slipped twice, and he's going to lose 1.5 yards on that play.
And that, Kevin, you talk about running from the dot, from behind center, as Ezekiel Elliott just did. That's not what he did at Ohio State. They were a spread offense, so it's something that he is getting used to. It's Dez Bryant down at the bottom of the screen on Bashaud Breeland.
Third and 9. Flag flies. Prescott fires complete. He's got Bryant. And already, Dez Bryant has more catches this week than he did all of last week. But let's see what the flag is.
Offside. Defense number 94. Penalties declined. Result of the play. 1st down.
And Kevin, sometimes we make this game too complicated. They're doing exactly what Antonio Brown and Todd Haley, the offensive coordinator for the Steelers. Let's put Dez over on the other side and see if Breeland can cover him. The answer thus far, and a great decision by Dak Prescott. Let's test the waters. Right now, Dez Bryant starting to get in a rhythm.
Now, a couple of great 3rd down throws from Prescott. Pressure coming, in trouble, and he is sacked on the play. It was Ryan Kerrigan. He's their leading sack master. Ricky Jean-Francois came in and added some pressure too.
Well, here's Kerrigan down in the 3-point stance, and he's a guy who's going to get you about 10 sacks each and every year. That's Dak holding on to the ball too long. That's not a bad job by Doug Free. He does get pushed, but that's Dak Prescott holding on to the football too long.
Lance Dunbar in the game now for the Cowboys on a 2nd down and 12. He's number 25 in the backfield. Prescott throwing, blitz coming, Beasley over the middle, makes the catch, and a move, and another one. Cole Beasley down to the 5. They beat the blitz for 28 yards and a 1st and goal.
Well, I talked early. There just seems to be an inherent chemistry between Dak Prescott and that guy, Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley looks like he's taken the next step in his game this year, saying a guy, I want to be the guy who gets the ball in key situations. Dak Prescott has been feeding him. That's been a good combination for the Cowboys thus far.
What a drive to start. 10th play of it. 1st and goal. Fake to Elliott. Throwing near side. Bryant incomplete. Breeland on the coverage.
And Kevin, that's not forcing the football. That's Dez Bryant one-on-one against Bashaud Breeland, a matchup that the Cowboys like. I think that's the one thing that Dak Prescott didn't do well last week, is in those one-on-one situations, give Dez Bryant a chance to catch the football, because he wins a lot of those 50-50 balls.
He was only targeted 5 times. I mean, it's already evident that the game plan is, hey, we're going at him. 3 targets today, 2 catches. Prescott, a little shuttle pass. Elliott in trouble, and he's dropped. Maybe a yard on falling forward, but Mason Foster was not fooled.
This is the area that the Cowboys struggled last week. You're going to see the shuttle pass to Ezekiel Elliott, and just a really good job by Ziggy Hood, by Mason Foster. But the Cowboys, they did a lot of good things offensively last week. The one thing they didn't do is finish in the red zone. You talked about finishing. The Giants beat them in the red zone last week.
12th play of the opening drive. 3rd and goal. Prescott, time, runs, pumps, fires, incomplete. He was looking for Bryce Butler, but again, Josh Norman there to make a play. And here comes the field goal team.
You see the chippiness of a rivalry, but you also see Josh Norman. And I got to tell you, I love the way this guy competes. It is hard to catch a pass on him because he is going to contest every catch. And you see Bashaud Breeland and Des Bryant, a little extracurricular, and that's normal for a rivalry. These teams don't like each other.
Here's Dan Bailey from 22 yards out. He had 4 of 4 on field goals last week, and this one is an easy one for him. And so a nice opening drive by the Cowboys, but again, they fail in the red zone. Good stuff on that opening drive with Josh Norman and Des Bryant and company. 3-0 Dallas. So Dak Prescott engineers a 13-play, 76-yard drive, but just like last week, the Cowboys come up short in the red zone. They settle for a Dan Bailey chip shot, and they lead 3-0 after the opening drive of the game. And Washington will get a chance to get the ball. Chris Thompson and Will Blackman back deep. Thompson going to take it out. Dancing. And good return, but out where he would have been if he kneeled it anyway. Out to the 25. And let's take a look at Kirk Cousins in his 5th season out of Michigan State. Finally a full-time starter last year and led the league in completion percentage.
He's an accurate thrower of the football. Out of the gate last week, he didn't look sharp. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, you got to give them credit. But as the game got going, we started to see the Kirk Cousins we saw late last year, confident throwing the football. Big year for Kirk Cousins, playing on the franchise tag.
On 1st and 10, here is Matt Jones with a nice start and a 6-yard run. Well, for Kirk Cousins, John, again, the first time he started all 16 games, and he really, look at his career here. You know, look, he was in and out, spot starting here and there when RG3 got hurt, and now the last 12 games, he's gotten hot. And we'll see if he can sustain it. Dropping back on 2nd down, blitz coming. They've got Deshaun Jackson wide open. Jackson all the way down to the Cowboys 40. We got some big plays in this one early.
Well, we got quarterbacks that are feeding their stars, and Deshaun Jackson is that guy. You see a tremendous job by the front. Morgan Moses, the right tackle, picking up, and then all of a sudden you got Deshaun Jackson on Gashgar, the linebacker. That's a mismatch, folks.
Sure is. First down, they'll run it to Jones, straight up the gut. You know, Jackson, John, caught 6 passes, 102 yards last week, but Josh Norman kind of tipped us off. He said, oh, Kirk Cousins and D-Jax have been out working every day after practice because you feel that they need to go to him even more.
Yeah, I don't think you need to force it to him, but you do need to feed him. He's a guy who you see with the ball in his hands. He's a punt returner. He's explosive. So both on those type of get him the ball and let him run, and then down the field, he's a weapon that needs to be used.
And Jackson's at the bottom of your screen against Morris Claiborne, but they'll run it to Jones. And the trap play goes nowhere. 3rd down coming up. Let's get our first game break and say hello to Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, John, you mentioned quarterbacks feeding the stars in your game. That's what's happening in New England. Jimmy Garoppolo's first start at home, opening drive, 8 plays, 75 yards to Danny Amendola. New England up 7-0 in this one. Kevin?
Jimmy Garoppolo can do no wrong. Unbelievable. 3rd and 7 for Cousins in Washington. Four-man rush. Cousins lets it fly deep. Just missed. He was looking for Jamison Crowder, who couldn't have been more open, but he missed him.
Wow, Crowder getting behind the linebackers. Here's Crowder. He's going to come across the formation behind Sean Lee and the linebackers, wide open, and Kirk Cousins just throws it too far. That's a ball that you have to complete. Kirk Cousins not as sharp as we've seen him at the end of last year thus far in 2016.
And so a missed opportunity, and Tress Way will punt it away. Beasley back. And that's a great job by Tress Way. Drop that one inside the 10. Dallas defense holds. They get a little luck. And now the offense will come back on the field with Dez Bryant. He's already been a factor. Cowboys up 3 early. Welcome back to FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland, as Cowboys will start this possession on their own 6 after a great punt by Tress Way. Bryant on the sidelines for this opening play. And Elliott in the backfield. Prescott on the fake. Jason Witten wide open and gets a block and all the way out near the 35. Someone forgot to cover Jason Witten on that play.
Yeah, just real smart play calling by Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator. You have a defense that last week really struggled to stop the run, so they're loaded to stop the run. You start each series faking the run, but then bringing Dak Prescott out on the perimeter. Brilliant play calling and great execution by Dak Prescott. You see Swaim tattooing D'Angelo Hall downfield.
Sure did. 28 on the pickup. It's Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott out near a first down, and that is close on a good burst up the middle.
Kevin, you had a feeling that this offensive line was going to be a little upset today. They got it handed to them by the New York Giants last week, and they aren't used to that. We talked to Jason Witten about that, and he said, yeah, they were a little extra angry this week and looking forward to taking it out on the Redskins.
Dez Bryant goes top of your screen with Norman on him. To 2nd and 1 as Elliott's forward enough to get a first down. Let's go down to the field and check in with Pam Oliver.
Hey there, Kevin. The Redskins, they are down a player right now, nose tackle Kevin Golston. He has gone back into the locker room. He's got a hamstring injury, and he is questionable. Back to you.
All right, Pam, thanks. So that's what the injury was. We saw Golston go out on the first play, and so Ziggy Hood, number 90, has gone inside. And number 99, Ricky Jean-Francois, is playing outside now for the most part. We've also got Cullen Jenkins in there now, number 73, who they just signed. And we get a flag, and the play is stopped. Bill Vinovich is our referee today.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 91. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, John, we've made a big deal about Dez Bryant, right? But here's why. He's their star. He's one of the best in the game, but he signed a huge deal in July of last year. Now, since that deal, though, it's been problems. He's missed 7 games. He was hurt. Only one 100-yard game and 3 touchdowns. And you look at some of these games. This is not what you need out of your A receiver. You can't have it. And, yes, we know that Tony Romo was out for this, and that is clearly a factor. But still, when you're the guy, as there's Romo with a headset on, you've got to get Bryant the ball. And the Cowboys making an effort to do that early. 1st and 5 after the penalty, and it's Elliott. And he gets through the initial burst. Ezekiel Elliott. The word this week from the Cowboys was patience, and that patience got him 10 yards.
Well, Alfred Morris said it best. He was trying to gain 1,000 yards with every carry last week. Now watch Ezekiel Elliott, the patience, stretching the ball, now bursts through the hole. That's good running, and that's adjusting after your first week struggles by Ezekiel Elliott. Stretching, then seeing the hole, putting your foot in the ground, and getting north and south.
And Jason Garrett said we talked to him about being a little slower to the hole, and it sure looked like it then. So Elliott off to a good start. Another first down for these Cowboys. Elliott again.
Kevin, you alluded to the fact, and you showed the numbers about Dez Bryant. To me, look, the whole team has missed Tony Romo. We see the record.
Of course.
No one has missed him more than Dez Bryant, though. And the reason, Dez Bryant's not a player who gets tremendous separation, who runs by people. It's back shoulder fades. It's contested catches. And the chemistry that he and Tony Romo had. And you have these evolving quarterbacks. They don't know how to throw. You don't have the reps, the time on task. And so Dez Bryant, he is the biggest victim of Tony Romo not being healthy over the last couple of years.
2nd down and 7. Elliott comes to the bottom of your screen as a wideout here. Prescott to throw, and there is Bryant again, who's tackled immediately on the play by Will Compton. He's going to be about a yard shy of a first down.
But I love what Dak Prescott said this week. You know, look, I am not going to force it. I'm going to play through the offense. But Dez will get his catches very calmly with a lot of poise. My thought was, that sounds good, Dez or Dak, but you give him one catch again and see how calm he is.
There's Alfred Morris, 4-year Redskin, was terrific for Washington. They decided to let him go. Signed a 2-year deal with Dallas, and he's making his return today, and they pitch it to him. Flag on the play. Morris doesn't get much as Kerrigan was there. And let's see what the penalty is. But it is interesting, right? Morris making his return to the team. He had so much success. And Jason Garrett saying to the young rookie Elliott, hey, watch Alfred Morris. Watch his patience. Well, they're chatting pretty amicably here, John. Norman and Brian.
Illegal formation. Offense. Left tackle is uncovered. The penalty is declined. Result of the play, 4th down.
There you go. So, Cowboys sure look like after that they're going to go. It's a 4th and 1. And they will go for it.
Kevin, they're in their heavy personnel. They got 3 tight ends in the game.
Fake to Elliott. Pressure coming. Prescott gets it away. Swaim wide open inside the 10 and knocked out of bounds inside the 5. What a play call and the execution.
Well, when people say, when talking about Dak Prescott, what do you mean poise? This is poise. Look at the rush coming in his face, and he calmly and athletically is going to elude the rush, calmly put it to Swaim accurately. That's poise at the quarterback position. Calm in the face of chaos, and that's a great job by Dak Prescott.
Jeff Swaim, he's not known as a pass catcher. He had a 21-yard catch last week, and that one for 28 yards. Boy, does Prescott look good. Real good. Elliott lined up now in this 4 wide receiver formation on a 1st and goal. And we get a whistle. And didn't get it off in time, did Dak Prescott.
Delay game. Offense number 4. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
You talk about the litmus test for Dak Prescott. This is where you earn your money in this league, down in the red zone. And he's been great 20 to 20s. But down here, you need to score touchdowns. We saw the inability to do that last week, and we've seen it early here today. This is where Dak Prescott needs to find a way to get it into the end zone. I'd give him a little hint. Jason Witten's really good down here. There's Jason Witten at tight end up the top.
1st and goal. Brunt. Prescott over the middle, incomplete, but Beasley got yanked down from behind by Breland. I mean, I guess if you're going to hold somebody, I might as well just tackle him.
Well, we got 4 flags on that play. They're coming from everywhere. And Breland, who had a rough week last week.
Pass interference. Defense number 26. Foul occurred in the end zone. Ball being placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic 1st down.
But what a brilliant route by Cole Beasley. You talk about patience. Did you see him selling it to the outside and then burst into the inside? That's what caused that penalty.
And so that will put the ball at the 1 with a 1st and goal after the penalty. And the Cowboys going to go big formation as well. Bring in an extra lineman. They bring in the fullback, and Elliott is the tailback. And another whistle. And a timeout on the field is called by Washington. College football kicks off Friday when USC takes on Utah, 8:30 Eastern on FS1, and continues Saturday when Boise State battles Oregon State at 3:30 on FS1. Then Oklahoma State against 21st-ranked Baylor, 7 Eastern start on Fox. A lot of college football, which kicks off on Friday night. I don't know how you can't be impressed with Dak Prescott last week and then earlier. A 13-play drive on their opening possession. Remember where this drive started, John. This drive started all the way down inside their own 10. 10th play of the drive, 93 yards so far, but now can they put it in the end zone?
Well, you know, one of the things I like most when we talked to him the other day, We praised him on his performance, and he said, I need to finish. We need to finish everything we do. Can they finish this drive?
They had drives last week, John, of 15, 15, and 11 in the first half, all field goals. So that's got to change for them, and we'll see if they can change it. Look into the eyes of the 23-year-old who looks and has played a lot more mature than that. First and goal, Elliott right up the middle, waiting for a signal touchdown.
Kevin, we talk a lot about the best offensive line in football, and just watch that line of scrimmage. Who's winning it? The Cowboys clearly winning it. Ezekiel Elliott getting behind that offensive line, and Dak Prescott says that's finishing.
That was some drive. Sure was. Elliott plunges it in for his second NFL touchdown, and Prescott is off to a fine start. Bailey with the extra point. He's never missed one in his career, and that one is perfect again. 10-0 Cowboys after a 94-yard drive, but the biggie, John, came on a 4th and 1, and this beauty of a fake and completion to Swaim. And he took it and ran all the way to the 5, and the Cowboys punched it in from there. 10-6. It's been domination by the Cowboys offense. 136 yards. And the red zone was an issue last week, but they punch it home on that 94-yard drive. And it's got the Cowboys fired up, and the Redskins defense trying to figure out what next. Jay Gruden saw his defense gouged last week against an excellent Steelers offense, and they find themselves down 10-0. Bailey's kickoff back at the end line, and Washington will start on their own 25 when we come back. But it has been this Dallas offense taking it to the Redskins early. They've got a 10-0 lead. Well, this rivalry goes back a long time. Cowboys, Redskins, one of the great ones in this league. They've met in the playoffs a couple times. 113th meeting, and obviously some great players. Love the old RFK stand shaking in FedEx Field here today, and it's been a Dallas dominant first quarter with 1:39 to go in the first. Washington football from their own 25. Fake to Jones. Cousins up top. Jordan Reed hauls it in right near midfield. And he goes to the super athletic tight end to pick up 25.
And Kevin, that's why it's important for Washington to run the ball so the play action becomes effective. You see Hitchens get pulled up by the run fake, and that allows Jordan Reed to get behind him. Last week, the Redskins ran it just 12 times.
Yes.
The problem with that, first of all, a rush can tee off on you. Second of all, Kirk Cousins is a very good play action passer. He thrives on it. You got to run the football more to set that up.
Two tight ends. Redskins with this set make it 3. And the single back is Matt Jones will get it flagged. And Jones gets 2 with the penalty. So we'll see what that is. We told you about Alfred Morris making his return, and they let him go because they thought that Matt Jones could be the guy here.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 84 covered the tight end. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And that was an issue for Washington last week. 9 penalties all on offense last week. So the storylines for the Redskins have Norman will travel. We showed you that. Josh Norman so far staying on the left side of the field, not following Des Bryant. Return to rush. John just said it. 12 attempts last week. This is just not good enough to win. And Kirk Cousins, he called himself a work in progress. Last year, a breakout year, led the league in completion percentage. A little off in week 1. Out to prove again that he belongs in some of the elite quarterback discussion in this league. On first and long. Time, near side, and incomplete. Actually looked almost complete to Morris Claiborne. He was looking for Deshaun Jackson, and we get a flag, which looks like it's on the Dallas secondary.
Looks like it's going to be a holding call on Claiborne.
Prior to the pass, holding. Defense number 24. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Well, Morris Claiborne, I thought, played an excellent football game last week. Wow, that's a quick tug on Claiborne, and I'm with you, Morris, because if they're calling holds on that, It's tough to play football. Quick tug, and they catch it, but that type of contact is usually let go in this league.
Not today. Fake to Jones. Time for Cousins. Throwing near side. It's Vernon Davis, the ex-49ers tight end, and Vernon's going to pick up about 4.
You know, Kevin, you see right there the boot action, and sometimes it's not the quality of the running game, it's just the quantity. You have to do it because it sets up that. Again, the play action pass, getting him on the perimeter, that throws Kirk Cousins into rhythm, and he's a guy, when in rhythm, he plays really good football. When he's not in rhythm, as he was last week, he was jittery, he was shaky, he was indecisive, so I like what they're doing with him.
Could be the last play of the quarter here on a 2nd and 6. They go 5 wideouts, 4-man rush. Cousins gets rid of it. He's got a completion, and he's got a first down to Pierre Garçon. And that'll move the chains for Washington, and that will take us to the end of quarter number 1, a 9-yard gain. And so, a first quarter that was dominated by Dallas, but Washington on the move. 10-0 Cowboys after 1, and we're back to FedEx in a moment. We start the second quarter from Landover, Maryland. Cowboys, Redskins going at it here today in the NFC East. Both teams got off to an 0-1 start. Dallas dominated the first quarter of play. That's Sean McVay, the young offensive coordinator, but extremely talented for this Redskin offense that really got it going the second half of last year. And they've had some plays out there here so far today. Penalties killed them last week. 9 offensive penalties last week. Got to avoid that. So we start the second quarter, Washington football, and they've got a 1st and 10 at the Cowboy 37-yard line. Matt Jones. That's through. Matt Jones down to the 30. It's a good run as John talked about that running game, trying to stick with it, and for Jones, that's his 4th carry for 17 yards.
We talked about patience with Ezekiel Elliott. Now Matt Jones demonstrates that patience, kind of hiding behind his offensive line and then plunging through for a positive first down.
Second-year man from Florida, Cousins to throw it. Just a little rainbow to Jones. Almost got his head taken off by Lee, but he caught it for a first down. That was strange.
Matt Jones saying, "Thanks a lot, Kirk. Hang me out in the middle."
That was a little beach ball by Cousins. It worked.
He's waiting for Jones to turn around. And you see Matt Jones somewhat surprised because he turned around and got that beach ball, as you called it.
But Jones, John, they let go of Alfred Morris for Jones, who they saw had potential last year. He only averaged 3.4 yards per carry last year, and he's been hurt a lot, so he's got a lot to prove.
My question is, why not have both?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's going with 2 running backs these days anyway.
Fake to Jones. Pressure. Cousins near side wide open, but he totally underthrew Garçon. And it's time for a game break. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. San Francisco at Carolina. A Carlos Hyde fumble results in a recovery and 9-yard score for Shaq Thompson, his first career touchdown. John, you got to love a defensive score. Panthers up 7-3. Kevin?
Yeah, the only problem is that it wasn't a safety. Otherwise, John would be really happy. For Cousins, John, he was low a lot last week with his throws against Pittsburgh, too. I don't know if there's a correlation.
He was. That one was pass rush, though. Good job by the Cowboys getting in Cousins' face, not allowing him to step up.
Cousins looking near side, throwing near side. Jackson's got it. Deshaun Jackson has the catch. And that's a Washington first down at a gain of 12.
Well, Josh Norman, the corner for the Washington Redskins, gave us the scouting report. They've been working before and after practice, and they're going to connect. Deshaun Jackson gets that much cushion because he's that fast. You have to respect his speed. You see Carr wanting to get out of there, and then Deshaun Jackson breaks it off. Speed is a wonderful thing because people have to respect it.
Drive continues from the 14. 9th play of it. Stretch to Jones. Cuts up inside the 10. Matt Jones, touchdown.
It's a great drive. We'll see if Matt Jones is in. Knee down. So is the ball across the plane at that point?
I think it's hard to see necessarily from that one, but certainly the other one looked like he may be a little short. They review every score. Let's see here, John.
Here's going to be our best angle, but you can't see his knee there, so tough call. Would be tough to overturn, would be my initial reaction.
Well, they look at it to check. If it stays, it's a 14-yard touchdown run. Again, they are looking at this here, so while they review it, we'll take a break. Pending touchdown for Washington when we're back. This is the review of Matt Jones, and we're freezing it to show you. I mean, it's ultra close. Bill Vinovich has the call.
After reviewing the play, ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
A 14-yard run for Matt Jones, his first touchdown of the year.
Kevin, on that call, I think you could kind of piece together and deductively reason that perhaps he wasn't across that plane winning the knee touch, but that's not what they need definitive evidence to overturn it, and there wasn't.
Yeah, it looked to the one angle he might be a little short, but he's so close, and all you need to do is have that tip of the ball cross that goal line. And so it is a touchdown, and Washington on the board. Extra point is good, and we have ourselves a game. The Redskins go into the running game, and Matt Jones makes it pay off. 14-yard touchdown run. It's a 3-point Cowboys lead. 8 plays, 75 yards, and a little run game. Matt Jones, 5 carries, 30 yards on the day, including the 14-yard touchdown run, and that's important because Washington ran the ball 12 times total week 1. They needed to do better today, and so far committed to it a little bit more. They've run it with a little bit more effort and a drive that they needed, and now they'll kick it away. That's way out of the back of the end zone. Don't forget, check out Damon Wayans and Clayne Crawford. Lethal Weapon premieres Wednesday on Fox. As we say hello, welcome you inside the broadcast booth in just a moment. It's 1st and 10 for the Cowboys. And you see what their offense has done. Hey, now we're here.
Yeah, we're here.
We got a little deked out. Sometimes that happens. Redskins needed that drive, down 10-0 the way the offense for Dallas is playing.
They need it in the worst way, and good for them getting that run game going. Kirk Cousins started to get sharp, so big drive for the Redskins.
Here's Prescott. He fires over the middle, and he's got Bryant at the 40. 15-yard hookup, and Prescott is really humming it. He's 9 of 12 so far.
Kevin, they have got to get Josh Norman on Des Bryant, because this guy, Bashaud Breeland, his confidence is rocked right now. He got torched by Antonio Brown. We saw what Cole Beasley did to him. Cornerback is a confidence position, and Bashaud Breeland, his confidence is shaken right now.
That's an issue, certainly. Alfred Morris in the game, and he'll get it against his former team, but not much there. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. David Bruton Jr. coming in to make the tackle. So what do you do if you're the Redskins here, John? We met with them, and they said, look, we think Breeland's a really good player. He had maybe the best camp of anyone, but he's in Struggleville right now. Well,
yeah, and that's the deal. Even good players go into little slumps. He's in one right now, so if he's on Des Bryant, you better give him some help. But I think the better solution, you got a guy you're paying a lot of money to cover #1 receivers, and I would put Josh Norman on Des Bryant.
Well, he's not. Breeland is on Bryant on the top of your screen. Prescott looking that way, but he throws underneath to Beasley, and it's short, incomplete. We hear a lot, John, about why it's so hard to do that. You think, well, just put him on the guy, but we hear that it's hard to do it. Why is it hard to move Norman around? Why is that so difficult?
Well, it is difficult, but it is possible. I played with Champ Bailey, and you work the entire offseason. I think the problem for the Redskins, they didn't plan for this. They had so much confidence in Breeland that they didn't practice it all offseason, and now that's catching up with them.
All right, interesting. 3rd and 10 for Prescott and the Cowboys. Four-man rush. Time. Prescott's going to run it. He's got wide open territory and a first down for Dak Prescott, but a flag, and this may be coming back. It is.
Holding. Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
That's on Travis Frederick, the center.
And despite the hold, you see they're giving Bashaud Breeland help now over Dez Bryant. So if you're going to put him on him, you better give him some help. And Joe Barry, the defensive coordinator, I think realizing that and giving Bashaud Breeland some help.
After the penalty, a third down and 20. That matchup, Bryant on the top with Breeland against him. Three-man rush. Prescott all day, just going to dump it underneath. It's Lance Dunbar, and he is going to get nowhere near the first down. Picks up 10, but the Cowboys will have to punt it away.
A great job by Washington. You go punch in the touchdown, and then you get a big stop. And so Washington really starting to assert themselves on both sides of the football.
Well, the penalty killed that drive. And now Jamison Crowder will get back to return the punts. It's been a long time since they've returned a punt for a touchdown. Longest drought in the NFL. Chris Jones and Dan Bailey. Cowboys have good kickers on their team. Jones, a left foot, booms one. Returnable. Crowder sprinting on his feet to the 25. Good return as he took that one around the 5. 56-yard punt and a 21-yard return. And so this Washington offense getting going with Kirk Cousins. If it presents itself, maybe I'll hit you on Byron Jones. We're talking about if we get to the Cowboys play. Small screen, stadium-sized content. Watch live local Sunday games in your smartphone with NFL Mobile. First and 10 for Washington. Up at the 25. This is Chris Thompson, the backup running back, more of a third down guy. He picks up maybe a yard for Terrell McClain. Made the tackle.
You look at this Washington wide receiving core. We're talking about the need for them to run the football, and that's just to achieve balance. But no doubt about it, the strength of this Washington offense is this receiving core. And you put Jordan Reed in there, Jamison Crowder, Pierre Garçon, and Deshaun Jackson. It's a loaded receiving core. Kirk Cousins has a lot to work with.
They go 3 wide here. Fake the run. Pressure! And Cousins is dropped. Jack Crawford came through in a hurry, and he picks up his first sack of the year.
And Kirk Cousins could not do anything about that. Crawford's going to loop inside. And here he comes. He beats Jordan Reed right to Kirk Cousins. And Jordan Reed, we talked about him being a great receiver. A blocker, he is not. You should not leave him on your defensive end.
We saw the results. And Crawford makes the play. Now a third down and 15. 4-man rush. Blocked up. Cousins lets it fly deep for Jackson. Just overthrew him. I didn't think you could overthrow Deshaun Jackson.
I had that on my notes this week. Throw it as far as you can because you cannot overthrow him. But Kirk Cousins, he just gave it a mighty effort and did just that. But you see the speed of Deshaun Jackson playing in his 9th year, but he can flat get it. I don't know if there's a faster player in this league even now. And Kirk Cousins just threw it as far as he could, and Deshaun Jackson even can't go get that one.
He went right by Morris Claiborne, but incomplete until the Cowboy defense does their job. Tress Way. And this is taken by Whitehead, who gets belted up near the 44. And good field position for the Cowboys. Well, Kirk Cousins knew he missed one there. He had it just a little too far. Maybe next time. There is Josh Norman. And he came here after the Panthers let him go. They took the franchise tag off of him, and that was a surprise. And the Redskins were among many a team courting him. Matched up against Dez Bryant only a few times today. We have 3 times, 1 target. It was incomplete.
Ask and you shall receive, Kevin. Here he comes. There's the matchup right here.
I just like good drama, John. That's it. First down for Dallas. Good field position at their own 44. And they will run it with Elliott, who gets a yard. Down to the sidelines we go with Pam.
Hey there, Kevin. You know it is bad when an opposing team's defensive coordinator, well, when he scratches his head in disbelief about Dallas and Dez. Speaking to Joe Barry before the game, he says there's no reason Dallas should constantly target Dez Bryant. Meantime, I spoke to Bryant a couple minutes later. He said that I'm going to stay confident. I'm going to go after it. When I get my chances, I'm going to make a big play. He's against Norman right now.
Well, that's even more incredible as the Redskins are forced to call a timeout here. That's even more incredible that Joe Barry said that, but still sticking with the theory of, hey, Norman's going to play the left side of our defense. So they haven't been matched up too many times, John, but here's what we got so far.
Now, Josh Norman is a really, really good player, and he plays with great physicality. Did he have some jersey? Absolutely, but when you make $75 million, they tend to let those go. Dez Bryant and Josh Norman, two great competitors, going at it. But if I'm Washington, I would have him exclusively on Dez Bryant, because you do not want Dez Bryant. Josh Norman told us the other day the key with Dez, you get after him early. He gets going, he's a tough guy to stop.
You know, I think Norman may come across sometimes as cocky, but he's fun, John. I mean, you meet with him. I mean, he's a team guy. They rave about his work ethic. And he said, hey, when this recruiting process, he had his whole family up here. Redskins were trying to get him to stay in the building, and he asked his family, hey, what do you want to do? Let's take a vote. Stay here, or should we go to New Orleans? And he said one of his family members said, hey, I wouldn't mind going to New Orleans. But, of course, he ended up staying here. And so he's a Redskin, and they're happy to have him. And a 2nd down and 9. And it looked like an early jump there, but Prescott is going to go down, and now a flag. We'll see who moved on the play. Preston Smith was the guy that jumped. See, was he baited? I don't think so.
Offside. Defense number 94. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
And Preston Smith, you know, he played with Dak Prescott at Mississippi State.
Yes.
And it was funny this week. He said, I was never allowed to go near him. Dan Mullen, their head coach, said, you don't touch Dak Prescott. And so he's so eager to get a chance to actually rush, maybe too eager, jumping off sides.
They could use Preston Smith. He had a good year. I mean, 8 sacks last year, and he had 6 sacks the final 4 games. Second down and 4. The fake. Prescott in trouble. Calmly steps away. Ball tipped and incomplete. Game break time. We go to Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. San Francisco at Carolina. Cam Newton having a lot more fun week 2 than he did in week 1. Staying upright and connecting with Greg Olsen on this 78-yard touchdown. That was the longest catch of Olsen's career. Carolina up 14-10 in this one. Kevin, John, and Pam.
He was a little bit open on that play. Was Greg Olsen, and a 3rd and 4 coming up. Good start for Dak. Prescott going to get it away in the flat, and the catch is made by Dunbar. First down inside the 40. And Dunbar made a nice adjustment to a little low of a throw. First down.
Well, tremendous pass protection for Dak Prescott. He had all day to scan the field. Look at this pocket. Tyron Smith, Collins, Frederick. Not the most accurate of passes, but he does get to his 3rd or 4th read in Dunbar and converts. Great job by the offensive line of Dallas.
He just looked so calm, even though he had protection. He just looked so relaxed back there. On a first down, they'll run it to Elliott. Up the gut, inside the 30. And he's going to pick up about 6 on that first down run. Elliott so far today has gotten the ball 10 times for 35 yards.
I'll tell you what, he is a physical runner. You talk about finishing runs. Ezekiel Elliott does that. All I had to do was turn on the film in preseason and watch him finish runs against Cam Chancellor. And Cam Chancellor showed him his respect after the game by saying, wow, that kid can run. Cam Chancellor, one of the most physical players, and Ezekiel Elliott took it to him in preseason.
From the 28, a fake. Prescott spins around, resets over the middle, gets Elliott, who's going to be a little shy of a first down. This will be about a half-yard short, as it was Foster and Compton, the linebackers, on the stop.
Dak Prescott, they've got a great conversation going on there between Josh Norman and Des Bryant both really have respect for each other. Last year when Norman was playing for Carolina, he really shut Des Bryant down and said some things after about Des having to give back his $70 million and whatnot. But there is great admiration and respect amongst the two of them for each other.
Yeah, he said it kind of started after they lost in the Super Bowl. Des sent him a text, and they kind of started a relationship there, so there is respect. Extra offensive lineman in. They give it to Elliott, and it's a first down as Elliott right through the hole in the middle, and that moves the sticks for the Cowboys on this drive.
You know, we've talked so much about the Norman-Bryan-ish matchup, but we failed to talk enough about this matchup. This offensive line, Tyron Smith, just an excellent job. Frederick and Collins clearing the way for Ezekiel Elliott to plunge forward for the first down.
Chris Baker is the injured Washington player. They already lost Kedrick Golston with a hamstring, as Pam told you earlier. They don't have a ton of depth on that line. They've got two guys down today, inactive on that line. So this is certainly an issue.
And Chris Baker's their best defensive lineman to me, their most disruptive guy, a big guy that can move. He was struggling this week with a hyperextended elbow and missed some practice as a result. But you mentioned it. You've already lost Golston. If you lose Chris Baker, a group that's already thin to start, this is tough.
Yeah, they would have only 3 active defensive linemen left to play. So the Redskins 10 to Baker. We'll take a break. 10-7 Dallas, 6:15 to go, first half. So Baker at least up and walking on his feet. Hopefully he's okay. And Washington will bring in Trent Murphy, kind of a linebacker defensive end hybrid, to replace him. But they are thin there now, with a couple of injuries coming in and 2 injured today on the D-line.
Well, Murphy, how about if you're Trent Murphy, he starts the offseason as an outside linebacker. They say, hey, we're going to move you to defensive end. And then 2 weeks before camp, we want you back at outside linebacker. So he's put on weight. He's lost weight.
Guess what? You're back at end. That's how it works. 1st and 10. Cowboys. From the 18. Prescott give Dunbar, makes a man miss, gets to the 15 for 3. Norman went to the right side of the field against Bryant. Was that the first time that happened today?
He was earlier, remember, in the slot, and they ended up playing his own defense. But this is the first time he has truly traveled with Des Bryant. And I think it's a timely, probably a little too late of a decision. And here he goes again.
They say Baker has a rib injury, and now he is on Bryant again in the slot. So very interesting as Joe Barry changing strategy, the defensive coordinator. 2nd and 7. Elliott looked like he had a gaping hole there, but it closed down quickly. Mason Foster made a nice play.
And Josh Norman has got to be saying, every time I line up with him, you either run it or you motion him. Come on, give me a chance at this guy.
Well, John, Chris Baker back in the game, number 92. That's good news for Washington. Bad news is on 3rd down so far this season, they've been awful. And the Cowboys today are 4 of 7 on 3rd down. And so here we go again. Third and 5. Blitz coming. Prescott gets rid of it. Tipped. Incomplete. D'Angelo Hall got a hand on it, I believe. And now a field goal try.
Well, they made a subtle adjustment this week, and that was D'Angelo Hall, who's a converted corner to safety. Last week it was Bruton cover the tight ends. Joe Barry said, look, D'Angelo Williams, we've got to have an answer for Jason Witten, and the answer is D'Angelo Hall. Very comfortable in coverage, and he does a tremendous job. That's a 0 blitz. They're bringing everyone. D'Angelo Hall inside leverage on Witten and makes the play.
So now Dan Bailey, who's got a 22-yarder today. This will be a 31-yard try. And that is perfect. Like every other one of his kicks, seemingly. Adding to the Cowboys' lead, now up to 6. 4.5 to go in the first. So the Cowboys go on a 10-play, 43-yard drive, and they settle for Dan Bailey's 31-yard field goal. So they will take it, but the way their offense is playing, again, red zone conversion's a little bit of an issue these first game and a half so far for them.
Yeah, you know, and everything's condensed down there. So Dak Prescott, as impressed as I've been, as everybody should be, It's just tougher down there. And any quarterback will tell you that. Any defender will tell you, I love it in the red zone because everything is condensed. And that's where quarterback play is even magnified. And you've got to be sharp there. And so you saw the full out pressure and D'Angelo Hall make a great play.
Bailey's going to kick this one short, like well short. And it's going to be taken up to the, about the 25 anyway. I think Niles Paul is a guy that made the catch of the kickoff. Take a look at that last play.
(24/7) 7-11. That's what Des Bryant is. He's always open. Just ask him. He wants the ball, and I love that about him.
4 catches, 56 yards so far for Bryant. Only had 1 for 8 last week, so certainly an improvement there. And now 4:27 to go in the half for Washington. 1 timeout. Fake to Jones. Cousins can run if he wants it, and now he will. Little pump fake, and out right around a first down. Let's get a game break and check in with Carissa.
Thanks, Kevin. Miami at New England. Jimmy Garoppolo connects with Danny Amendola for the second time today. Pats up 21-0, but later in the second, Jimmy Garoppolo gets his throwing shoulder banged up. That appears to be the issue. Jacoby Brissett, the rookie from North Carolina State, is in the game now. Kevin?
Wow. So Patriots could be on their 3rd quarterback. We'll check on Garoppolo a little later. First down and 10. Fake to Jones. Trouble. Cousins. Now he's got time. Sets. Little hesitation and a throw. David Irving came in and got some pressure on Cousins.
This is a great job by Morris Claiborne, because what they were trying to do with Deshaun Jackson, other side of the field, they were trying the double move with Deshaun Jackson. Morris Claiborne did not go for it. Here it is right here. Look at him. Fakes the out route, and Morris Claiborne said, I'm not going for that. I'm going to respect your speed. Great job by Claiborne.
Second down. Cousins over the middle, and he's got a completion. And there is Jordan Reed, who brings it into Cowboys territory for a hookup of 15.
And that's really good coverage by Byron Jones. That's just a very good throw and a really great catch. Look at the coverage. And Byron Jones is a guy that they like in these matchups, as well they should. You can't cover it any better. He even gets his hand in there. Reed just out muscles him for the ball, and great trust by Kirk Cousins, and Jordan Reed has earned that trust.
And Jordan Reed led this team last year in receptions. He was a big-time player on first down movements. And a flag. So Bill Vinovich and his crew will sort this out.
The defense did not get into the neutral zone. False start. Offense number 85. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
You take a look. Mayowa jumped early right here. Now let's watch. They're saying he did not get into the neutral zone. Vernon Davis moves in reaction to Mayowa's movement, and to me, that's on the defense.
But it moves Washington back. Josh Doxson, their first-round draft pick, is in the game at the bottom of the screen. They'll run. Jones kind of dancing around, and that dance only going to get him a yard or 2 max. Not much room to go there. You know, we were talking to Rod Marinelli, the defensive coordinator for Dallas, and he said, you know, I think Washington's really good when they run 26, 27 times, because then everything plays off at their play action, John, as you've been talking about. And you know, they've seemed more committed to it today. They've run 8 times, but long way to go.
Tough to run. And Kirk Cousins, look, he said, I'm the first guy that wants to run it, but we were behind schedule because of all the penalties. And yet again, it's 1st and 15. It's tough to run because now it puts you in a 2nd and long.
Sure does. 4-man rush. Cousins has a completion over there to Crowder, and tackled immediately by Claiborne, and Wilcox was there as well, as that should take us down to the 2-minute warning.
Really impressed with Morris Claiborne. It looks like he's back to that corner they thought he once would be, playing physical football.
All right, so a third down coming up for Washington. 2 minutes to go in the half. Cowboys up 13-7. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. 2 minutes to go, first half. Washington has a 3rd and 7 coming up. Jay Gruden for the Redskins on the right. Jason Garrett, Cowboys head coach, on the left. First meeting of these longtime rivals this season. 0 for 2 on 3rd down today, Washington. Both have been 3rd and long. Blitz. Cousins gets rid of it near side. Good catch. Jordan Reed. Amidst heavy pressure coming his way, the completion to Reed and a gain of 8.
There is a great job. Watch Chris Thompson coming across the line of scrimmage, picking up Byron Jones, absolutely decleating them. That's a tremendous job, and it allows Kirk Cousins to find Jordan Reed.
What a block. One timeout for Washington. Cousins stands in, looking for Jackson. And he threw it over the wrong shoulder. He had him. He's had Jackson a couple times today, but he hasn't connected.
I tell you what, Kirk Cousins early, it's not the same guy I watched at the end of last year. It's just a little bit off. And the Redskins knew that. Little hesitant, just a little inaccurate, and that's not who he is. And you have to wonder, a big year for Kirk Cousins. Is he pressing? Kirk Cousins hedged his bet. They offered him a deal. He said, that's not enough, guys. I'm going to go trust myself and go play. And he's close. He just got to start connecting on throws like that.
Yeah, and so he's playing under a franchise tag for almost $20 million, but no years beyond this one. 2nd down. Again, he's got time near side. There's Vernon Davis, who goes forward, and he's going to fall forward. That should have enough for a 1st down. Vernon Davis, who disappeared when he went to Denver last year, really thought it was a good pickup when they got him, John, but he's looked sharp so far with Washington's first 2 games.
And they're really happy to have him. They like that 2 tight end package. It puts the defense with Jordan Reed and Vernon Davis in a tough position.
One timeout, plenty of time for Washington. Cousins tipped at the line, incomplete. Though they're obviously well within field goal range already, and one timeout, 54 seconds to go. Jackson was out on that play. He will come back in. Cousins today, 10 of 15, 122 yards. So he made some nice throws, no question, but he missed Jackson deep twice. And he also had Crowder deep for a touchdown that he missed. So it's the one that he's missed that have been huge.
A lot of long foul balls, and you got to connect on those.
That's a good point. Second down. Cousins over the middle, nearly intercepted by Sean Lee.
Well, and he ripped that ball, but Sean Lee doing a great job just reading the eyes of Kirk Cousins. You're going to see Sean Lee, windows closed so quickly in the NFL because of players like Sean Lee who are reading those eyes. You got to love these receivers because they always think they're open. Deshaun Jackson puts up the hand. We saw Des Bryant doing it. The good ones, they want the ball.
So big play here. 3rd down and 10. 3-man rush. That's it. Cousins steps up, throws over the middle. Thompson, good cut. And now the spot will be critical. He may have this. Redskins have one timeout to use with 35 seconds and the clock running, and it's a 4th and 1. The spot is short. Got to use the timeout now to discuss. And now decision time for Jay Gruden.
I want to show you a great play by Malik Collins, the draft choice. Here he is. Watch him go rush the passer. And then we call this retrace. He turns around. Look at the hustle. They missed the tackle, but who's down there? Your nose tackle 10 yards down the field, making the tackle short of the line to gain. That's big time effort by Malik Collins.
That is good stuff. And so a 4th and 1. You're obviously within your field goal kicker Hopkins' range. He's got a big leg. 31 seconds left. You're out of timeouts. Wonder what Jay Gruden does here. Oh, the answer is he's going to kick. And that's not a popular decision.
You know the problem, Kevin, you go for it here. I think you got to spread them out and throw the ball because Now all of a sudden time's an issue with no timeout. So I think Jay Gruden would have liked to run the ball, but then you unpile all of those things. Now all of a sudden you're left without any time. So I think this is the wise decision. Get the points going into half with some momentum.
Hopkins 3 for 3 last week. This will be a 36-yarder. Way the punter is the holder. Sundberg the snap. And it's good. So a 36-yarder for Hopkins, and Washington is back within 3 with 26 seconds to go. As let's check in what's coming up on the Visa Halftime Show.
These studio guys, I'm telling you, we aren't going to get Aikman out of there. We see him getting pampered with makeup, gals all around him. They're playing cornhole in their backyard. I mean, it's incredible.
Notice we never saw if any of those beanbags actually went in the hole, John. After the first one, they stopped showing. So Kurt and Jimmy having some fun, and the guys will be along in 26 seconds. A 13-10 game. Good first half, fun first half. As both teams trying to avoid starting the year 0-2. Cowboys do have 3 timeouts left and a field goal kicker who is fantastic even from deep range. I wonder if Jason Garrett will let his rookie quarterback go back and throw a couple, or he'll take any. This is an interesting decision, I think, for Garrett.
I know that with Romo, they'd take a couple shots downfield, but I would imagine with a rookie quarterback, you might say, let's go to half with the 3-point lead.
Hopkins kicks off, and that one is way out of here. So they'll start on the 25.
You look at Kirk Cousins, we talked about it. Just not quite on it like we're used to seeing Kirk Cousins on it. We saw early in the game, beautiful design. Crowder gets behind the linebackers, a near miss. You see a low ball out to his left, some pressure in his face. This time, trying just to let it go to Deshaun Jackson. And just a little bit overthrown. Kirk Cousins, not there yet. It's a long season, but the urgency, we talked about it, an important game. You can't go 0-2 if you have aspirations of winning your division.
He called himself a work in progress when we met with him yesterday. So positive. And Dallas is going to throw. Well, maybe not. They'll hand it off. Dunbar. And that'll probably give you an idea how Jason Garrett feels about going to the half without making a mistake here. Good first half for Dak Prescott. 12 of 18, 182 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, 44 yards and a touchdown rushing. And Dallas will go to the break with a 3-point lead. Saw some good matchups. Des Bryant way more involved this week after 1 catch last week, 4 of 56 at the half. And Deshaun Jackson has been open a couple of times. 2 catches, 40 yards. Could have been a lot more. And so these two rivals duking it out pretty even as we go to the break, and we get set to take you to Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. I think Troy's still there for the halftime show, but we'll find out. He might already be at the game in L.A. 13-10 Cowboys over the Redskins at the break. Visa halftime show is going to come your way next. Looking forward to a good second half here from Landover. We'll see you soon. We're going to go on camera. Today's excitement brought to you by the new Nissan Titan. That was today's excitement brought to you by the new Nissan Titan. And a good first half here in Landover, Maryland. 13-10 Cowboys lead the Redskins. And this is a back and forth game. We had some fun here, John Lynch. And takeaways from the young quarterback Dak Prescott of Dallas.
Well, I think he's doing a better job. I called for him before the game. Kind of let it loose a little bit. Get it down the field. And he's doing a better job of that in feeding Des Bryant. Kirk Cousins, we chronicled it right before the half, just not quite there. He's got to be a little sharper. I think the quarterback play is going to go a long way towards deciding a very evenly matched game.
I think it's worth repeating that Cousins led the league in completion percentage. So a guy that was ultimately accurate, a little bit off, and that could change this Washington offense. And they will start the second half on the 25. Let's go down to the sidelines with Pam Oliver.
Hey there, Kevin. I talked to Jay Gruden at the half, and he said, you know what, who needs to step up? Our quarterback. He's the one who's got to lead us. He said this game is not that hard. He also said that we need to get some pressure on Dallas's quarterback. He's feeling like he's getting to sit there a little bit too much. As for Jason Garrett, he has Dez Bryant on his mind. He said we got to get him even more priorities in the second half. Back to you.
Wow, Jay Gruden letting it fly on Kirk Cousins, John. Thanks, Pam.
Usually those quarterbacks take care of themselves. Jay Gruden, an old quarterback himself. But he also is a guy who speaks the truth. And I think everyone can see Kirk Cousins needs to be a little bit sharper.
All right, so 13-10 Dallas. Third quarter underway. Matt Jones as Washington gets the handoff, and Jones breaks the tackle out to about the 29. So Matt Jones, John, have we seen enough from him to believe that he can be a real workhorse for this Redskins team?
Well, I think from what I've seen, I really like it. But the durability is a question.
And Cousins back to throw on a quick count, and he's got a first down. Out to the 44, it's Pierre Garçon with the hookup. And a nice pickup there.
Well, it always starts with protection, and that's a really nice job by the Washington offensive line, keeping him protected. Kevin, you talked about it. You don't lead the league in completion percentage if you aren't a very accurate thrower. That's what Kirk Cousins is. You get him that time, he will be that.
First down. Cousins reading all the field. Now he's got a man wide open. And it's a big guy, Vernon Davis. That is a gain of 32.
Well, this is just no rush on 2 consecutive plays by this Dallas front. Tyrone Crawford getting blocked. McClain getting blocked. Jack Crawford on the ground. Kirk Cousins has all day to scan the field and eventually finds Vernon Davis across the middle of the field.
Vernon Davis showing you 11th year in the league. He's still got something to give. Cousins going to go to Deshaun Jackson on the screen. And a nice play by Byron Jones. No gain. They're trying to get Jackson involved there, but Jones all over it.
You know, Kevin, you look at what Rod Marinelli, the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, is working with, and it's not a whole lot. They haven't given him the resources. Rod will never tell you that. He's a no excuses guy. Whoever I have, I'm going to coach and coach hard. But you just look at their offensive line and the success. Well, it's because they've drafted high. They've paid guys. On the defensive line, they have not, and they've got a couple guys suspended.
That doesn't help. On second down, here is Jones. And looking for a seam to cut up the field. Good hard running by Matt Jones there. Well, you talked about it, John, some of these guys that they're missing. The Cowboys, they didn't invest a lot in there, okay? And this defensive line is just, you know, they're part inexperience and part they just lack production in the times they've been in the league. So they're looking for something there.
And they're going to have to manufacture because it's not, you don't see game changers on that line. There's some nice players, some guys that are, Terrell McClain had a heck of a game last week, but he's not a difference-making player. Tyrone Crawford, he got called out by his head coach because he's the guy they have paid, and he's not getting it done.
Yeah. Third down and 3. Three-man rush. Cousins lets go of it. First down. It's Ryan Grant. Quick on the delivery and a first down for Washington.
Well, I think Jay Gruden might have told Kirk Cousins the same thing he told Pam Oliver, because he is coming out a lot sharper. He's getting the necessary time, but very accurate to start the second half and very much in rhythm.
We saw tempo, what seemed to be an issue for them at times last week, didn't we?
Yeah, I think sometimes for a guy like Cousins, get up, don't over-examine things. Get up, call the play, and let's go. They felt like a lot of those false starts where he was holding his count too much. And get up sometimes and just run the play.
First 10 from the 11. The thrower, they're going to throw a fade to Doxson, the first rounder. One hand on it, but incomplete. So Josh Doxson, who they drafted in the first round out of TCU, who had a great career there, but he's had an Achilles problem. He's been out nearly the entire summer.
And I tell you, Morris Claiborne is really playing well. He's a guy that a lot of people have been disappointed with his development. But I tell you, from what I've seen this year, I don't know if it's health if his confidence is back, he's playing quality cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Second down, 4-man pressure. Cousins, end zone, caught, Crowder, touchdown. Woo! Now that was pretty.
That's decisive. That's tremendous accuracy. That's the Kirk Cousins we saw at the end of last year. A tightly covered receiver in Crowder, but he just throws a dime exactly where it needs to be. See the matchup. Crowder working on Scandrick, and you can't throw it any better, folks. Crowder going to get thrown into the wall like Arena League, but he's got himself a touchdown.
So Pam said it coming out of the break. Jay Gruden challenges quarterback, saying he has got to play better, and that was a nice drive. He had total control of that football the whole way. 11-yard catch to Crowder. It culminates an 8-play drive, and the extra point is up, and it is good. And the Redskins take the lead. They start this second half with a 75-yard drive, and it was Cousins firing one to Crowder. And just outside our nation's capital, we got ourselves a little game. Well, that's a way to make a statement. Jay Gruden calls out his quarterback to Pam Oliver, and then Kirk Cousins proceeds to go 5 of 6 on the drive, and clearly the best he's looked all day.
Kevin, I think you made a great point. You could feel the tempo on that drive. Kirk Cousins was feeling it. He said, let's get up to the line of scrimmage and go, because I am feeling it. And it's a great job by Kirk Cousins reacting to a slow first half, but coming out firing on all cylinders.
And a nice hookup to Jamison Crowder, who has his first touchdown reception of the year. So Washington in front for the first time today, 17-13. And the Cowboys will get the ball with Dak Prescott looking to do some work. The difference in the game so far today has been red zone. Something that hurt Dallas last week. It's hurt them again today. They're moving the ball plenty. But they haven't converted the touchdowns, and Washington obviously has converted for 7. Whitehead will take a knee, and so Dallas will start on their own 25-yard line. Here's what we got so far. Prescott had a nice first half, 182 yards on 12 of 18. Elliott 44 yards rushing at a touchdown, and they clearly going to Dez Bryant, who only had 1 catch for 8 yards last week. Now here is something for the Cowboys, John. When you look at Tony Romo's been out since last year really, and without that, they just didn't have any big plays. 3 touchdown passes of 20 yards or more last year, worst in the league. None yet this year. Now the difference is at least they had some big pass plays in the first half. But long touchdowns have been like a unicorn to them. Fake on first, and Prescott's going to hit Jason Witten on the rollout, and Witten has himself all the way out to the 39. He's going to pick up 14.
Now, if something keeps working, keep calling it. It's the third drive that Scott Linehan has faked him with the run, gotten Dak Prescott to the perimeter for the bootleg. A great job by Scott Linehan. I'm going to keep running it till you stop it. Ryan Kerrigan falls for the bait. Dak Prescott out on the perimeter. A nice easy throw to Jason Witten for a first down.
And so a first down from the 39. It's Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott spins head down, and a good hard run out near a first down for Dallas. Mason Foster is the guy that brought him down. We talked about the big plays, right? I mean, you look at today, 6 of 6 on passes 15 yards plus in the air. That's a big difference from last week. They only had 1 play of 20-plus yards last week, so improvements from Prescott in only his second NFL start. Jumbo package, 2nd and 1. It's Elliott. First down.
I tell you what, Ezekiel Elliott, he's gotten better from week 1 to week 2, and that's normal. He's a back. He's drafted high. He wants to show so much, but look at the patience. Bouncing. Now hit the hole. Run with power. You know, I used to play against a guy, LaDainian Tomlinson, a lot. And Ezekiel Elliott reminds me of LaDainian Tomlinson. What he needs to learn to do, which LaDainian did, was you hit people with power early. That opens up the bounce, the big plays for later on. You got to start with power. I think Ezekiel Elliott is figuring that out.
Interesting. Fake it to him here. Kerrigan coming on the blitz, but they dump it off, and they hit the fullback. It's Keith Smith who's got the catch down to the 42-yard line. He's going to pick up about 5. Going to bring up a 2nd down and 5.
If I'm Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan, I'm coming out in a formation and I'm putting Des Bryant over to our left side, their right side. And I'm seeing if it's Rashad Breeland. If it is, I'm going after him. They've got Breeland down here, but it's Bryce Butler instead of Des Bryant, who's up top against Josh Norman.
Yeah. Well, we saw at the end of the half, they put Norman on Bryant on the opposite side for the first time all game. Elliott gets a good kick-out block, and Ezekiel Elliott rolling inside the 25. And he is down to the 22. It's a run of 21. Lael Collins with a nice kick-out.
Well, it starts with the offensive line. I want you to watch Zach Martin get out and lead the way. Lael Collins kicks out. Zach Martin up on Mason Foster. That's easy running. And you see the patience. I'm going to go slow 2, and then I'm going to explode through for Ezekiel Elliott. You're starting to see why the Cowboys were so very excited to have this young man in their offense.
Elliott's getting into a groove. 15 carries, 79 yards, and a touchdown. A 21-yard run, his long. 1st and 10. A pitch it to him. Elliott down about the 17. They give him 4 on that 1st down. Well, it is a difference for Elliott. Now, again, the 4th overall pick. This is a guy that rushed for 3,700 yards the last 2 years at Ohio State. He had 5 200-yard games. You remember the BCS playoffs a couple years ago? He was insane. And look already at the big improvements. You talked about patience. There's results.
And Kevin, I think it's important. Remember, we talked about it. Best offensive line in football. They got whooped last week by the New York Giants. Today, they're doing the whooping.
Alfred Morris in the game of running back. Elliott gets a break on 2nd down. Pressure, and Prescott still up. Gets it away somehow. How in the world did he get rid of it? Trent Murphy had his arms wrapped around him. But he had Alfred Morris in the area, and it's incomplete.
It's another thing you like about Dak Prescott. He's a sturdy lower body. Look how thick he is.
Quarterback will stop forward progress. 2nd down.
That allows him to stand there when Trent Murphy's tug and pull and doing everything he can to get him down. He has tremendous strength and balance in that pocket.
So they ruled out a sack, John. They said that his momentum had stopped, so it is indeed a sack for Washington. And now a 3rd and 11. I don't know if Prescott thinks about running here down here. He hasn't done it yet. 3-man rush. Throw in. There's Bryant. Forget run when you get hit number 88. 1st and goal for Dallas, working on Breeland again.
I'm telling you, every time he's lined up on Bashad Breeland, you got to throw to this man. They're going to throw the post. Dak Prescott doing a nice job seeing the matchup. Breeland playing with no confidence at all right now. And if you're the Washington Redskins, you better and quickly make an adjustment. And Kevin, here's where I agree with you. If I'm Dallas, you've been struggling in the red zone, utilize his mobility. We see so many quarterbacks. Russell Wilson comes to mind, who uses that mobility in the red zone.
They're going to throw a fade to Bryant. Incomplete. That time Breeland had excellent coverage. Prescott, we know he can run. I mean, he led Mississippi State in passing and rushing the last 2 years, so he's got both.
Breeland doing a nice job down here on those routes, those 50-50 balls, contesting those throws and using his hands.
2nd and goal from the 6. This has been their bugaboo early in the season. 1 touchdown they got. Remember, a penalty put it at the 1. Prescott, pressure up the middle. He's going to run, and he's going to score.
You talk about finishing. Dak Prescott learning, you know what, I'm a pretty good athlete. I can use that athleticism, that mobility in the red zone. Things get tighter. The windows may not be there. Go ahead, use those legs. Use them to your advantage, and that's exactly what he does. Pumping like he's going to throw and then plunging forward for the touchdown. Great job by Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott's first NFL touchdown comes on the ground. A 6-yard run with the Cowboys back in front, and Bailey's extra point is good. Back and forth we go. From Landover, Maryland, Prescott doing the job with his legs. He hit his receiver Bryant on third down, and he took it in himself. Dallas back in the lead. A Dak Prescott touchdown run puts the Cowboys in front. 5 and change to play in this third quarter. Another 10-play drive. John, the drives today by both teams, 13 plays, 9 plays, 8, 10, 12, 8, 10, all long drives by these teams to get in there. But the red zone has been an issue, and Prescott solved it with his legs. Third rookie Cowboys quarterback with a rushing touchdown. A little onside kick action. Did not get 10 yards, I don't believe. We will uncover the pile. Jason Garrett getting tricky.
Gutsy call, and Dan Bailey, who's such a great kicker, most accurate kicker in NFL history, doesn't mean he's a great onside kicker, because he does not make it 10 yards.
Yeah.
It's very gutsy. The execution, not good at all. That ball has to go 10 yards.
Oh, yeah. It's not
doesn't
close.
come close.
Nope, not close. So Jason Garrett certainly seemed to have catch the Redskins off guard, but that's going to be their football in great field position.
The ball did not go 10 yards. Therefore, it's an illegal touch. Kicking team. Washington ball, 1st and 10.
So now a huge break, and we'll see if Washington could take advantage. Well, their first possession of the second half for Washington, Kirk Cousins really came out with authority. 5 of 6 on the drive, and he led them to a touchdown. And here some evidence, some of those throws, John.
Well, you see great protection first and foremost. They really protected Kirk Cousins well. Kevin, you made a great point about the tempo. He got in a rhythm. He started pushing that tempo. And then that throw to Crowder, that's about as good as you can do it. We keep saying, where's the guy from last year? At the end of the year, maybe we just saw him.
Will it continue? Numbers for Cousins on the day. Sean Jackson, Jamison Crowder both on the sideline. Fake the run. He's got all day, and he's got his tight end Vernon Davis slowly becoming one of Cousins' favorite targets here, as Davis had 1 catch for 20+ last week. He's got 3 catches today so far.
It really is interesting what happens to players. I mean, Vernon Davis, one of the elite tight ends in football under Jim Harbaugh out there with the 49ers.
Sure.
And then he kind of goes away, like he's in the witness protection program. We don't see him. He shows up in Denver, and now they're back. And sometimes it's just, are your coaches, are your teammates excited about you? They're excited to have him, and he's showing up.
Yeah, with that catch, now 4 for 52 for Vernon Davis. He's the leading receiver. Jones, good cut. Matt Jones with a nice run. And a Redskin first down to the 25. And a pickup of 8.
You look at Matt Jones. What do you like? He's a big back. He's got great vision, and he's got the speed. The one thing, does he run behind those pads? I think that's something he's going to have to learn. Get behind those pads, get a little lower to take some of the punishment you do as a running back.
From the 25, play fake. Cousins, pressure from behind. Cousins on the roll, and he uses his legs, and he's got a first down.
Good coverage, good rush by Tyrone Crawford, but nothing from that right side of the defensive line. Somebody has to put an edge on that side, a contain. And look at Kirk Cousins. Looking downfield, nothing there. He's going to get a rush, but nobody setting the edge on that side. And Kirk Cousins says, okay, I'll go run for a first down.
You talk about Rod Marinelli not having a lot of these pieces on the defensive line. They have one sack and a busted play. Crawford busted through the line, but Cousins has had a lot of time. A lot of time. First down. Jones, patient run up the middle. Good stuff from Matt Jones. Gets down to the 10.
And Kevin, you know, part of the reason, you look at all the guys that they're not playing with. DeMarcus Lawrence, a defensive lineman, suspended 4 games. Randy Gregory, suspended 4 games. Rolando McClain, they're getting run right at the middle. He was their linebacker. Jalen Smith, a guy they took knowing he couldn't play. So there's just not a lot for Rod Marinelli. Again, he will never tell you. He's going to coach the guy he has and coach him hard. But he does not have enough to work with on the defensive side of the ball. So they better score some points.
Second down, pressure. Cousins gets rid of it. It's Davis again. Good tackle. Morris Claiborne.
Looks like a different guy, doesn't he? Claiborne.
Does.
I mean, he's just playing really, really good ball at the corner position, both in coverage and when it comes to the physical component and tackling. Kirk Cousins under pressure. That's just textbook. Good wrap at the legs. They can't go anywhere when you wrap them up. And he should be celebrating.
He was a 6th overall pick back in 2012 and never quite lived up to that hype. But so far, first 2 games, playing the best so far of his career. 3rd and 7. 3-man pressure. Cousins. Now some pressure comes through. In trouble. Going to loft that end zone and just out of bounds. Terrell McClain is the guy that busted through and got the pressure on Cousins to force the incompletion.
It's a great job. And in the red zone, you really start to say, okay, who are their targets? Well, there's Jordan Reed. Byron Jones bumps him. 2 linebackers come. So 3 guys on Jordan Reed. Look at, there's the bump. There's 1 linebacker. Here comes Sean Lee. So we got 3 guys on their best target. And then Morris Claiborne and J.J. Wilcox. So the top 2 targets, they take them out. Kirk Cousins got nowhere to go.
So a 29-yard field goal attempt by Dustin Hopkins. And he punches it home. And so we are all tied up one more time. 2020. Packed house, Landover, Maryland. Couple of old NFC East rivals going at it. And it's been fun today. We've seen some good stuff. 2020 with 2:06 to go in the 3rd quarter. So Jason Garrett's onside kick that failed comes back to bite them. The Redskins go down and get a field goal to tie it up. And now the Cowboys will start from their own 25. Jay Gruden seeing his team coming back behind Kirk Cousins. Now it's the rookie's turn. Cowboys 20, Redskins 20. 2:06 to go in the 3rd quarter. Both quarterbacks have played well in this second half, that's for sure. And now it's back to the rookie, Dak Prescott, in his 2nd NFL start. And he's been sharp today. First NFL touchdown on the ground a little bit ago. Back to throw, blocked up. He's got Dez Bryant, 2nd catch of this half. I think we've seen a couple things from this Cowboys offense. Prescott poise, but Elliott has come alive for them too in the run game.
Yeah, and it all starts with the offensive line. It's the best group in football. They didn't play like it last week. In groups that are the best, they're prideful. And so they're starting to assert themselves. And you're seeing Dak Prescott, every time he gets Dez Bryant on Bashaud Breeland, he's starting to wear that combination out, and he's smart too.
John, there's a man down on the field. Maybe Will Compton, trying to see from here. It is the linebacker for Washington, so they tend to him. We'll take a break. Be back in a moment. We've been waiting for 28 hours to get that in. John Lynch. And ball's loose on the ground. Deshaun Phillips is the guy who recovered it. And the first turnover of the game.
And Kevin, I think it's Josh Norman who knocks this football out. So Josh Norman says, all right, if I can't cover Dez Bryant, I'm going to make my presence known somehow. And our colleague kind of invented that technique, the peanut punch. Josh Norman goes in there like a boxer with that right hand and gets the ball out. Great players affect the game. That's exactly what Josh Norman just did.
So the first turnover, Norman delivering the forced fumble. Deshaun Phillips recovers, and now Washington with 1:32 to go in the third with excellent field position starting at the 34. So Elliott with his first NFL fumble. And Norman all kinds of fired up. Washington goes jumbo package here, 3 tight ends. Matt Jones, the tailback. They fake the run. Cousins being pressured wide open. It's Niles Paul, the third tight end. Good cut. Paul taken down inside the 20. Penalty flags down 2. There's one right back at the 49.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 59. Tap it into the goal. Automatic first down.
16-yard hookup and then the penalty.
Look at the poise and presence of Kirk Cousins. He wants Jordan Reed. He's not there. Then all the way back across his body over the middle, and these tight ends really affecting the game. And there's the roughing. Bill Vinovich right on it. It's Anthony Hitchens who hits Kirk Cousins late. So tack that yardage on.
And a first and goal from the 9. Niles Paul was set to be the starting tight end for this team last year. Dislocated his ankle. So their third tight end can make plays as he just did for a gain of 16. Jones. Not much. Thornton was there first, the former Eagle. Second and goal.
You look at the presence in the middle of that field. Tyrone Crawford, he hasn't been playing well enough. The 3 technique so important in this defense. And then last year it was Rolando McClain right behind him. He's on suspension for 10 games. So right down the middle of that defense, this defense is suspect.
Can Washington take advantage? Movement. Well, that'll help.
Encroachment. Defense number 92. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
These quarterbacks have gotten smart. They spend so much time in the gun these days. You never used to see the hard count from the gun, but all of them using the cadence to their advantage, and we see it all the time. Hard counts from the shotgun, and those are free yards for Kirk Cousins.
And so that'll move it down inside the 5. They line up Jordan Reed, the tight end, split out as a wideout. They're going to throw it to Doxson, the rookie, jumping incomplete. Really no room there because Brandon Carr had him blanketed.
Well, Doxson's their #1 draft choice, and they're trying to get him involved in the game. In this red zone, they think they have a favorable matchup, but Brandon Carr just playing this beautifully. Getting his hands in, that's legal contact, then playing the football. That's a great job by Brandon Carr.
Well, of all the receivers that Washington has, they've got a lot of good ones. He's their biggest and their tallest. Just didn't work. Third and goal now. Cousins gonna fire near side, well short, incomplete. He was looking for Garcon, but that one had no chance.
Morris Claiborne continues to stand up in coverage. Just hangs on, and a low, accurately thrown football, I think, scores there, but maybe that tug on the jersey by Claiborne made that pass low.
That might have been enough.
Sometimes when you're playing well, you get those kind of breaks.
Remember, he got called on the little tug earlier. So they'll settle for a Hopkins 22-yard field goal to try and put Washington back in front, and he puts it home. I'll tell you what, after that turnover, Elliott fumbling, that's a great job by the Cowboys defense. Even after the penalty, they're not allowed to score. So the Redskins in the lead, and you look at this NFC East, it has been inconsistent. There hasn't been one dominant team since 2004. There's been a different division winner every single year. And of course, the last 2 years, Cowboys and the Redskins. Redskins If you're not first, you're last. That's their mantra. Last, first, last, first. Who knows what this year will entail, but that has been kind of the deal with them. And certainly if you start 0-2 with 2 games at home, that's not the way. That's not seemingly the way to first place in the division. So after the fumble by Elliott, the recovery, Redskins convert a field goal. Up 3. And it'll go back to the Cowboys for the last play of the third.
And the Cowboys, they got to be saying, settle down. Look, 2 self-inflicted wounds. That onside kick that went bad, that gave them a score. And then the fumble by Ezekiel Elliott, the great play by Josh Norman, that's what's beat them. But when they've been on offense, this offensive line is starting to assert their will. So if they can just get back in that rhythm and hold on to the ball, Jason Garrett, I'm sure, is telling them we'll be fine.
Well, we talked about it earlier, the Cowboys storylines. One of them we had at the bottom finish because they haven't done that. All these games they've been in with leads or close in the fourth quarter, and they have not been able to finish and win games. Jason Witten brought it up to us yesterday, so we've got to finish. We'll find out if they can. As Hopkins the kick, Whitehead thinking about taking it out. He will. And he gets a couple good blocks and a good return. So it's fruitful for the Cowboys out across the 30 where they will take over to start the fourth. So Elliott dejected after his first NFL turnover. Norman created it. Redskins capitalized. They lead after 3. Well, this rivalry goes back a long time. I mean, Tom Landry, oh yeah, Joe Gibbs. I mean, legendary coaches and players. The 113th meeting, Cowboys and Redskins. Week 2 of this NFL season, and it's been a good one. 23-20 Redskins. As we head into the fourth quarter, Washington, you know, they got the onside kick that failed for Dallas and a turnover, but only 2 field goals. They lead by 3. Cowboys have it at their own 30. And Prescott gonna throw. Pressure coming, and down he goes. Trent Murphy.
Trent Murphy, his 2nd sack of the game now, providing some pressure against Tyron Smith, one of the best left tackles in football. He's just going to come up, work the edge, a speed rush, and gets underneath. That's what the great ones do. They can turn the corner very quickly. It's exactly what Trent Murphy does well right there. Now you do have Josh Norman traveling with Des Bryant in the critical time and place, they said. I guess now's the time and place.
Top of your screen, that's interesting. They got to give on a handoff that goes nowhere. Lance Dunbar got the carry. Deshaun Phillips. Actually, that was Sua Cravens. Team's draft pick this year is kind of mixing in and out. The rookie from USC, 2nd rounder.
Sua Cravens is a player that they're very excited about. Kind of this new breed of hybrid safety / linebackers. They want him to take over and be the starter at the linebacker position. They're working him in roles. There's Joe Barry, the defensive coordinator.
I think that play is called Bring the Axe. I'm not sure, John. They got to get to the 40. 3rd down. He's got time, and he's going to hit Beasley underneath. Makes a cut well short. Well short, and the Cowboys will have to punt. Game break time. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, again, Cam Newton hooks up with Kelvin Benjamin. This time 9 yards on the score. 2nd of the day for Benjamin. 3rd TD pass for Cam. They got penalized for excessive celebration, but I don't think that's slowing them down at all. 31-10 in the 4th. Kevin, John, and Pam.
Kurt, thanks. So Carolina making amends after their opening season loss to Denver. That's the first 3 and out for the Cowboys all game. And now the punt by Jones. Good kick. Crowder all the way back outside his 10. Up to the 20 and belted there across the 20 to the 21. So Norman having a little fun. A sack by Murphy, and the Redskin defense flexing their muscles here at Landover. As we are 12:46 to go in this game from Landover, Maryland. This D-line for Washington stepping up, forcing a 3 and out. Redskins 23, Cowboys 20. 1st and 10 for Washington at the 21. fake the run. Cousins all day. Lets it fly. He's got Doxson wide open. The rookie with the catch and the move. And he's down into the red zone of Dallas.
Tell you what, you love them taking that shot. Everybody is focusing on this guy, Deshaun Jackson. Look at all Brandon Carr, Byron Jones, everybody running. And then we're going to slip the rookie down the rail. Great deception. Putting your star out there as a decoy and then putting Josh Doxson in to run free down the sidelines. Love it by Sean McVay, the offensive coordinator.
He's barely practiced with Kirk Cousins. His Achilles has kept him out really the entire summer and preseason, but that went for 57 yards to the rookie from TCU, and now a run to Jones, and he's got a couple blocks, breaks a tackle inside the 20. One more look at this big pass.
Well, Kevin, look at it. Everybody is going to follow Deshaun Jackson, and then they're just going to slip Doxson out, and look at all the coverage running to him because he's the explosive player. That leaves him wide open. Really good design. Take your best player, draw all the coverage, and then Kirk Cousins saying, I'm not missing this one.
Second down. The throw again. Cousins has it. He's got a completion. It's Reed over the middle. First and goal.
Kirk Cousins very much in rhythm now. And if you're the Dallas Cowboys, Kevin, okay, they've moved the ball. Somehow you've got to summons the energy to hold them to a field goal. You've got to draw on every ounce of strength and stamina you got, and somebody's got to step up and make a play if you're the Dallas Cowboys and want to go win this football game.
He's just got too long to throw the ball, and Cousins has had a good second half. I mean, remember Pam told you that Jay Gruden called him out? Oh, it's worked. He's been red hot. First and goal, throw to the end zone, go in the corner, diving! Doxson was invisible since they drafted him. The guy's come to life, huh?
They are bound and determined to make that play work.
But Claiborne, again, had really nice coverage.
Yeah, Claiborne is standing up, and they like Josh Doxson on this route. They love his size, and he does a tremendous job making a great effort, but Claiborne all over him.
Cousins has hit 10 different receivers today. Now they are spreading it around behind Sean McVay's game plan. They've got 4 plays of 20 yards or more in the air. Second and goal. Cousins going that way again. Incomplete again. It's almost the same thing. That time was for Jordan Reed. And a third down.
I tell you what, Byron Jones, and that's why I've been saying you've got to keep him on the field. Last week they rotated him. He gives you a guy, Byron Jones, that can hang with these big tight ends. Remember, he's got great versatility. Played corner last year, played it very well, played safety, and then he's a bigger guy. So he is a good match against these bigger tight ends because he has both the size and the speed to stay with him.
Chris Thompson comes in the backfield. Third and goal. Cousins firing, intercepted. It's picked off in the end zone by Barry Church. What a huge stop by Dallas.
Talked about it, Kevin. Somehow you got to summons the energy, and it was Barry Church. Barry Church right here. Watch him watch the eyes of Kirk Cousins. Cousins is trying to get it to Garcon. Never sees Barry Church. A great play by Barry Church.
Cowboys stay in it with a big play. So Kirk Cousins, interceptions early in his career was a problem. Last year they weren't. But John, consider this. Other than that number in front of you at home where he was flawless, 32 red zone touchdowns for Kirk Cousins. No interceptions in his career coming into the year. 2 red zone interceptions this year. One last week, and that is a big one that he just threw there. And so now Dallas down by 3, taking over at their own 20. And it's Elliott. Left side, and he goes backwards. Sua Cravens and Trent Murphy were there.
Kevin, we saw the interception, but what made that possible? The hustle of Byron Jones. Look at this, is that big play. You never quit in this league because you never know. It doesn't look good, we're backed up, but go hustle allow yourself to have a chance, and Barry Church can make a play like that. If Byron Jones isn't hustling, Barry Church is never there because it's a touchdown. Great hustle by Byron Jones.
2nd down and 14 after Elliott lost 4 on that run. Prescott, Bryant makes the catch. He's got a 1st down. Dez Bryant out to the 36. And there's a flag back near the quarterback.
There is no foul for offensive holding. The defender slipped and was driven to the ground. 1st down.
Wow, that's big because they had a flag on the ground for holding on Doug Free, but now instead they say that Trent Murphy, there's Trent Murphy working against Doug Free. Let's see if the defender did slip. Looks like they both slip and fall to the ground. I think a good no call.
Dez Bryant, John, 1 catch last week. He's been a factor, 81 yards receiving now. And a 1st down. Fake to Elliott. Prescott sends one to Beasley, and he's at midfield. And another Dallas 1st down. Prescott on that play fake. It's worked beautifully all day.
And his efficiency throwing to Cole Beasley all year long. I think they've missed once from what I've seen all year. When he throws to this guy, they have a connection. He's kind of gone quiet in the last 10, 15 minutes. But Dak Prescott, when he needs it most, finding Cole Beasley.
Cowboys on the move, down 3 under 9 to play. Here in Landover, Maryland. Elliott, stretch left, he's in trouble. Gets out of 1 tackle. Good run by Elliott because there was nothing there. He's going to pick up about 4 yards on the play. You know, Dak Prescott was the 8th quarterback taken in the draft. And, you know, there was an issue. There was a DUI that he was later found not guilty of, so teams got scared of that. But they asked him about dropping and watching quarterback after quarterback go. And it was interesting, his response, right?
I love what he said. Competitive jealousy as he watched all these quarterbacks go in front of him. He was jealous, and he said all it did is make that chip on my shoulder even bigger.
Well, now a chance to prove everyone wrong. On the fake, trouble. Smith on the rush. Prescott gets out, gets a completion to Swain, who butts heads back across the line of scrimmage. There are 4 flags. Or actually, those are 2 cleats and 2 flags. Redskins with the yellow cleats.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 54. Low hit on the quarterback. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
What a job by Prescott to draw the penalty after avoiding the sack.
Well, Dak Prescott's going to do his best Russell Wilson here, running in circles. And then watch the low hit. Mason Foster goes. Let's see this. They've been trying to make that a point of emphasis. It looks like he grabs him rather than really hits him here. The tough call, but they are going to protect these quarterbacks.
That has been something that they have talked about, but that did almost look like he was behind him. Hey, it's tough to hit a quarterback if you're a defender. That's just the reality in today's NFL. And that's a huge penalty. 1st and 10, all the way down to 29. Elliott, not much. As the Redskins stack them up. Will Compton was there first.
You see Ezekiel Elliott after Josh Norman stripped that ball on him. He's got 2 hands on that ball. He is not going to have that ball come out of his arms. And you got to be so cognizant because it's taught every day in the NFL. The ball is everything, so people are going to go after it.
Dez Bryant, top of your screen, and Josh Norman is over there on him. Bryant's over 100 yards, 7 for 102 on the day after that last catch. 2nd down, Prescott in trouble. Kerrigan's got him. Somehow gets it away, but they may have ruled that it's a sack. And there's a penalty flag to boot out of the 21. So a sack on Prescott, but let's see what the call is.
Illegal use of hands. Hands in the face. Defense number 24. 5-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
There's Josh Norman working against Dez Bryant. And right there, he does get some of that face mask. Josh Norman really good at utilizing his hands and utilizing that physicality. That time, he goes to Dez Bryant's face.
Eighth play of this drive for Dallas after the interception by Church in the end zone. The Redskins going in looking for a 10-point lead, and Prescott leading the way. He's on the verge of his first 300-yard game. This is his second start. He's got 271 in the air. 1st and 10 from the 23. Elliott lost the ball. It's loose. Elliott fumbled earlier in this half, and I think Dallas got it back this time. Boy, oh boy.
That ball was on the ground for a long time. And I tell you what I'm doing if I'm Jason Garrett, which he's doing right now, I'm putting Alfred Morris in, because Alfred Morris, very sure-handed. Ezekiel Elliott's finding out that you show a weakness in this league, people are going to come after it.
Oh, yeah, it was out early.
It's Trent Murphy who knocks it out. Puts his helmet right on the ball.
So a 2nd and 11. Cowboys get a break. They go shotgun with Prescott. Steps up over the middle. Bryant incomplete. He had it, but dropped it at the end. Maybe Norman got a hand on it too.
What a finish to that play. And that's what defensive back is all about in this league. It's the finish. And it looks like this is a reception for Des Bryant. But watch Josh Norman coming with that right hand again, much like he got that ball out on Ezekiel Elliott. He punches with that right hand. And that's just Will saying, I'm not going to allow the ball to be caught on me. Josh Norman playing at a high level.
It'll be Norman on Bryant at the top of your screen on a 3rd and 11. Play clock at 1. They get it off. Prescott firing far side. He's got his man for a first down. It's his favorite target, Beasley again, and a huge throw from Prescott.
It takes more than one. So they got Des Bryant. They got Jason Witten. Cole Beasley said, let's make this a big 3, because I want a part of that, and I want the ball in big situations. And he's doing everything right to make Dak Prescott have that trust in him.
Cole Beasley, who had himself a great week last week. 8 catches, 65 yards. He's got 5 for 75 today. 1st and 10. Down at the 12. Prescott throws. There's Witten inside the 5. And he's going to be about a yard shy of a first.
Now Washington needs to do exactly what Dallas did. You're on the ropes. You're hanging. Can you make a play? Can you find a way to make a play to keep them out of the end zone? Absolutely critical for the Redskins.
Last time they were down here, remember, Prescott used his legs and ran in from 6 yards out. 2nd down and 2. Alfred Morris gets it. Morris, touchdown! Back on his old home turf. And he puts his new team in front.
But this is all about, not about the running back, but about that offensive line. Look at Zach Martin just pushing his man Ziggy Hood off the line of scrimmage. That's a gaping hole. Doug Free kicking out, and Alfred Morris, who's in there because Ezekiel Elliott put it on the ground twice, says thank you very much.
Now Bailey with the extra points. Up and good. Now this second half has had some twists and turns, hasn't it? It's been fun. It was 13-10 Dallas at the half. Cowboys go back in front. Alfred Morris back in D.C., giving it to his old team. Heck of a drive by the Cowboys after Barry Church intercepted Kirk Cousins in the end zone. Dallas goes the other way, and Alfred Morris against his former team, coming back as a Cowboy after 4 excellent years here with Washington. Puts it home, a 4-yard touchdown run. 4 lead changes in this half. It's been a heck of a game here today. Prior to the game, Joe, you want to talk about the type of guy that Alfred Morris is. Here he met with his FedEx Field family, John. He said it was something he was looking forward to big time. Took the early bus, met with them, delivered the touchdown to put him in front. We'll part of the reason the Cowboys the last year or so have been so bad in the fourth quarter because they've been without Tony Romo, who's got the second best fourth quarter rating of all time. I'll tell you what, though, it was a pretty good debut by the kid in the fourth quarter. Dak Prescott has been great in the second half. And now, the Cowboys in front, it's Washington's turn with Jones going to run the football for a short game. You know, they only ran it 12 times last week. That's their 16th rush this week, so they haven't exactly improved by gangbusters.
You know, Kevin, though, right now they're not going to score by running. It's on Kirk Cousins, and you know he's hedging a bet on himself in terms of his contract this year. This is when you earn your money. Fourth quarter, you're down by 4. Can you generate this offense? Can you drive this offense into the end zone?
About to find out. Cousins. Blitz coming. It's blocked up. Throws complete. Far side of the field to Crowder, but he's short of a first down. Let's go down to the field with Pam Oliver.
Well, Kevin, watching Cousins, he was completely dejected after that red zone pick. He came over, talked to his position coach, looked up in the sky, looked down at the ground. Seemed like he wasn't able to focus in on what they were talking about. You could see right there that he knew he made a big mistake.
Yeah, Jay Gruden, Pam, said about Cousins, hey, he doesn't have a lot to prove to me, but consistency is a major part of the quarterback position. And he's been a little inconsistent today. 3rd and 2. Big play. Crowder leaning forward, and he's got a first down for Washington. Nice job by Crowder to kind of use his body and mark it right on the line, but that'll move the chains.
Dallas defense, you can't play it much better than that. Justin Durant with a tremendous job. I like the play call, and Crowder seems to be a hot hand right now for the Redskins.
Chris Thompson in a running back. He's the better pass catcher. Cousins going to look his way. He drops it. Ironic, right?
You jinxed him.
I totally did.
Yeah, we got to give a little credit to Sean Lee breathing down his throat.
And so a 2nd and 10. 3:07 to go in this game. Each team has all 3 timeouts left. Cousins approaching 300, but the interception on his last possession looms large. 2nd down. Over the middle. Crowder, heck of a grab by Jamison Crowder. Wow.
Tell you what, we've got some slot receivers playing some really good ball here today. Cole Beasley and then Jamison Crowder. Both those guys in the slot.
Ooh.
You know, the ball hits the ground, but it doesn't really move, and I think he's controlled that football.
Jason Garrett not going to review it. Handoff. And on 3rd down, they get stuffed. Durant came in with Lee. How about that? So Garrett doesn't review, and then they try to run it, and they're denied on 3rd.
Watch Justin Durant and Sean Lee. This is linebacker play. Justin Durant disengaging, Sean Lee running like a bullet and making that tackle.
Washington needs a touchdown. They won't punt it away with all 3 timeouts here. And they're going to let it go down to the 2-minute warning. Now, even though they've got 3 timeouts, you'd think they're going to go. But they can discuss it over the break. 4th and 1 is looming with the Cowboys up by 4. Washington with the ball in their hands, but a 4th down and a big-time NFC East battle. 2 minutes to go. Cowboys lead by 4. Redskins football 4th and 1, and it's almost a 4th and 2. It's a long one.
And I think you got to think about Jordan Reed, Jamison Crowder. Those are the guys I'm thinking if I'm Kirk Cousins. Those have been your money players today.
Cousins. 4-man rush over the middle. Incomplete. Durant read it beautifully, and the Cowboys take over.
I'll tell you what, Justin Durant barely played in this game until the end, but boy, did he make his presence felt. Watch him right here, going to shoot out, read the eyes, shoot out underneath, get his hand on it. Cousins looking for Garcon, and Justin Durant just read the eyes. Looks like Garcon's open, but Justin Durant says not so fast.
Pass might have been behind him anyway. So here's the deal. Redskins do have all 3 timeouts left. So I mean, there is potential here to get the ball back. The question is, obviously, you go a little bit more and you're already in field goal range for Dan Bailey. They're going to run. And Morris inside the 40. And the first timeout's going to be called. Every weekday morning, Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on the day's hottest sports topics. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, weekdays at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Pacific, only on FS1. Well, Washington can get the ball back here. They've got 2 timeouts, but you're already just about in Dan Bailey's field goal range.
Yeah, you know, I think a lot of people are going to question Jay Gruden going for that with 3 timeouts, but I think here's the deal. He doesn't have the defense to trust to get the ball back, and this offensive line. So I don't question, but the time management, you know, he had 10 to 15 seconds. He could have used one of those 3 timeouts. So now all of a sudden you're down. You've used your first timeout, only 2 left, but you have. The key is they can't get a first down. They get a first down, this game's over.
Right, no question. Jay Gruden looking on, and after the 5-yard run by Morris, it's a 2nd and 5. Morris, and he is going to lose a yard here, and Washington will call their 2nd timeout. Well, Dak Prescott has played a heck of a game here, his 2nd NFL start. He has not looked like a rookie quarterback at all. So who is Dak Prescott? Well, this guy, his full name is Rain Dakota Dak Prescott from Houghton, Louisiana. Well, it's every passing record at Mississippi State. There's never been a player named Rain in the NFL. You know what? Never been a player named Dak in the NFL. So he's breaking records here. And by the way, there's only been one other quarterback from Mississippi State in the NFL, Joe Reed, who had a short career with the 49ers. First Dallas rookie to start weeks 1 and 2 since our guy Troy Aikman in 1989. And he's about to lead a 4th quarter comeback if he could get one more first down. So Washington with a timeout left. Dallas not yet in Dan Bailey field goal range. They're up by 4 with 1:46 to go.
And here's where Dak Prescott, he's been excellent in the 4th quarter. You got to be sure with this football.
3rd and 7. They'll fake the run. Bootleg. Washington has it played. Prescott's going to slide down and force Washington to call their final timeout with 1:39 to go. So that didn't fool anyone.
The thought process there. Let's show them like we're going to run it to Alfred Morris and then come out. David Bruton comes on the blitz. Well designed by Joe Barry, thinking that they're going to come with that naked, send a blitzer right in his face. And Dak Prescott does the wise thing. Don't force the football. Simply get down. Make them burn their last timeout.
So, John, the Cowboys will have to punt here. And Washington, no timeouts, but they're going to have solid minute and a half here.
It's enough time. We'll just see if Kirk Cousins can gather himself and come back and make some plays.
Oh, we're set for a heck of an ending. That's a big 2nd down stop on Alfred Morris that shoved him back a couple yards and forced that 3rd down and long. Crowder back to receive, and Jones will punt.
And again, the magnitude of this game, Kevin. Here we are in the 2nd week of the season, almost thinking this is a must-win, because if you have aspirations of winning your division, it doesn't happen much when you go 0-2 to start the year.
Very true. Jones gets it away. Crowder will let it go. Oh, look at the bounce. Cowboys will down it inside the 10. And so the Redskins football, 1:30 to go, but they've got the length of the field to travel because they need a touchdown to win it. How did we get here? Well, there's some big plays in this game, but none bigger than this. Washington about to go in to go up 10. Barry Church picks it off in the end zone, and then the Cowboys take it and go the length of the field with old friend Alfred Morris scoring the go-ahead touchdown.
It's been a great game. Yeah, back and forth, Kevin, just like a rivalry should be. Big punt right there by Chris Jones, pinning him back, making him go the long way. 1:30, no timeouts for Kirk Cousins.
They got to go 90 yards. 4-man rush. Cousins near side to Reed, who will catch it and go out of bounds. And he's going to pick up 8 on first down. He's got 4 career game-winning drives in the 4th quarter in overtime. And consider for Dallas the flip side. 6 of 12 losses, the last 12 by 7 or fewer. 2 of them in overtime. Talked about finishing, so here it is. 2nd and 2. Pressure, Cousins dropped and sacked. And there is the guy that Jason Garrett called out during the week, Tyrone Crawford.
Well, Tyrone Crawford almost had him calling out again because he hadn't done much all day. But when it mattered most, he did something.
Minute 6 and counting. 3rd and long. Cousins. Thompson over the middle, sprinting ahead. Good run. Chris Thompson. Look at Thompson across the 45. Clock obviously a factor. 53 seconds. They've got to hurry and spike it.
What a play by Chris Thompson. Sean Lee, a very good tackler in space. He evades him, but then keeps going.
Ran away from him. That's a huge play. A gain of 38 after the sack by Crawford. So they could catch their breath with 43 seconds to play.
Look at this by Chris Thompson. Sean Lee right here, one of the better tacklers in football. But what happened? Byron Jones slipped, so Sean Lee's all alone. That's really Byron Jones going to the ground, put Sean Lee in a tough position. But then the juice just getting upfield. What a great play by Chris Thompson.
Redskins need 52 yards in 43 seconds without a timeout. Cousins steps up near side. Crowder going to go out of bounds. So Crowder, short gain on that. He's going to pick up about 5. They'll give him 6. And it stops the clock with 37 seconds to go. But remember, after the spike, it's 3rd down.
It's 3rd down, and I think you can't be afraid to go to the middle of the field here and then run up and spike the ball once you get the 1st down, because the Cowboys are going to be defending the sideline. Sometimes what that does, it opens up that middle of the field.
3rd and 4. 4-man pressure. Time. Cousins. Thompson again has the 1st down. Thompson 1st down, but the clock is ticking. Remember, they need a touchdown.
Now you got to hurry up and get this ball spiked so you can regather yourselves.
22 seconds. And they'll spike it and stop it. And a flag now flies. And the clock moving. This could be a 10-second runoff. This is big.
Yeah, Lichtensteiger kind of pumped that ball before he actually snapped it. So it's going to be an illegal snap on the center.
That'll get it down to 8 seconds left in the game. That's huge.
Ball start. Offense number 78. Snap infraction. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Watch the ball.
This requires a 10-second runoff.
Starts to go. Stops.
To 8 seconds.
Wow.
And we're going to wind them when ready.
And then they're going to wind when Bill Vinovich is ready. So they got to be up.
They have to be ready.
And you're going to have one shot really at the end zone.
It equates to a near Hail Mary situation. No timeouts. Washington needs a touchdown. Like to welcome those of you who watched the Giants defeat the Saints. Could be the last play. Washington needing a touchdown. Cowboys up 4. 4 seconds to play. Cousins looking, throwing towards the end zone. It may go out of the end zone. Incomplete. And the Cowboys hold on to win it. The rookie Dak Prescott with a game-winning drive in the 4th quarter. And the Redskins have lost their first 2 home games of the season. And this one hurts.
The play of the game, you go back to it. Cowboys reeling on their heels. And somehow Barry Church comes up with an interception, leaving them in this desperate situation, the Redskins, for Kirk Cousins just to heave it up. And you got to give this defense, undermanned in my mind, but they kept hanging in there, made a play when they needed it most, and Dak Prescott, the rookie, I thought played marvelously, winning the game in the 4th quarter.
He really did. Jason Garrett's team held tough. Finally, they were able to win a close game. And the defense gets a big hold. It came down to the final seconds and a throw to the end zone. But the Cowboys hold on for a 27-23 win over the Redskins. We'll be back in a moment from Landover to put a wrap on things.